So the other weekend I had some people over, and there were 5 people, and we played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Then I want to talk about it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment. Thank you.
My horns!
Oh, how to juice, bro. Outstanding, player.
So this game came out a couple years ago. I really enjoyed playing that co-op with my girlfriend at the time, and we had a blast playing it. This game is really fun co-op. It's fun by yourself, but when you get a bunch of people playing, it just is pure mayhem, and it's enjoyable and fun, and it's relatively simplistic, so everybody can kind of figure out what you got to do overall relatively quickly. The gameplay footage that I captured for this video is just me playing, so it's not the co-op. I should have recorded it, but I didn't really think about it at the time. But yeah, the beat 'em up takes inspiration from the older retro games, which I do have videos on this channel. The combat is super fast, super fun, pretty deep, but also simple to kind of pick up. And then they added like a roll mechanic, which isn't really in a lot of beat 'em up video games. So it's cool to kind of have that extra option to roll and then hit people. And some of the enemies you need to like roll behind them in order to kill them. So they implement it kind of like a rock, paper, scissors mechanic against specific enemies where you have to do specific things in order to break their defense and get them unalived. But yeah, the co-op definitely takes the forefront of this game, because it's like I would rather play Streets of Rage 4, but if you have more than like 3 people, because I think Streets of Rage 4 is only like 2 people maybe, I don't know, but this game has a lot of capability to have a bunch of people playing. The character in this game is really awesome. Like the design of the characters, the voice acting, the soundtrack and sound effects, and the story all come together to make like an animation or cartoon 90s style vibe, and it really is a great way to play a Ninja Turtles beat 'em up game, and I would say it's probably the best Ninja Turtles beat 'em up game. I wouldn't say that it's the best beat 'em up game ever. I feel like there are other games that do it better, but the level designs in this game, the variation of the places that you go, really take you on a nice adventure and a very diverse set of enemies, bosses, and levels and places that you traverse, and also the amount of characters that you have to choose from are a lot. There's a lot. There's some of the DLC characters, which I'll just talk about that right now. The DLC I think is actually pretty cool because it came out about like a year after the game released, so they had time, and you could tell that they didn't have it ready when they released the game. So they weren't just trying to money grab and cash grab off of people's fear of missing out and predatory examples like that. So you can tell that it sold fairly well, so they started working on it and had it planned to release the next year in order to get a couple more characters and a few more levels and an expansion to the story. So I agree with that practice, and I agree with what they did there. I like how they did that. So, but yeah, the enemies and the boss designs and the characters that you have to choose from, there are a lot of them. And the bosses are really fun. They're really engaging. They're typical where you have to, memorize their pattern. I kind of just like in this video game, in the video footage that I recorded, I just kind of like bashed my way through. Somehow I didn't die. I got really lucky there, but I was just kind of trying to kill him really quick. But yeah, there are different types of levels also. So there are the traditional, side-scrolling beat 'em up But then, you know, there's also you go up and down instead of just left to right. So there is some depth in each level, where it's you know, a bit of a wave, the way you go through. And then there are other aspects of the game where you go and you're doing like the riding missions, where you're either flying or you're surfing or you're riding on things in order to get through the levels. And those are a nice break from the traditional style. So it chops it up, but it doesn't feel like it's taking you out of the experience. It feels like it's a complementary level for you to enjoy. I do think the game is a bit long. There's a lot of levels. Traditionally, beat 'em ups in the past were pretty short, just so you could like speed run them and stuff. But the whole reason wasn't so you could speed run it, but it was just you know, they were an arcade game, so they wouldn't want somebody sitting on there all afternoon. But like, I'm not trying to complain and say that it is way too long. It's just for my taste, I would prefer to be able to hop on and like beat it in an hour. But like, that's just me specifically. I do really like the way that they implemented like a level up mechanic. So like, when you start out, if you're not doing like the arcade mode and you're doing the story mode, they have implemented a way for your characters to kind of level up. So the more you use them, the more abilities unlock, and the more bars you have to be able to use your specials. And you unlock more flying attacks and more just ground special attacks. And it's nice to kind of look forward to having something to kind of upgrade. And then it keeps you kind of coming back to try to get them all leveled up. I liked it. It wasn't too deep, which I really like. It was, you know, kind of surface level, but I like that they kind of included that. But they could have also not had it, and I wouldn't have really noticed the difference, honestly. So it was cool to just kind of go back and play through again to try to get better at the specific levels, and then also be rewarded by having your character increase, the ones that you didn't like use for the first playthrough. But yeah, the movement, it's fast, it's snappy. Then you have you know, you got your jump, you got the roll, and you can sprint, double over, and then you can sprint. So it's fast, snappy, responsive, a tad bit floaty, not really noticeable. I just kind of have played a bunch of these games, so I kind of noticed the responsiveness when you're cutting back left and right. But it does the job, and it's not bad by any means. The enemies aren't too bad. Some of them get kind of crazy, like difficult, and they're mostly, not mostly, but a lot of them are kind of just reskins with different colors. But you know, they're Foot Clan soldiers, so it's how varied can you be. But then they take you in a lot of different places, so you end up fighting robots mixed with you know, dinosaurs and stuff like that. So it is a variety of enemies. It's not just the same enemies, and even if they are the same enemies, they have a lot of different attacks and a lot of different weapons and moves that they're going to come at you with. So it's not super repetitive. Like, it is, you know, a beat 'em up game, so it is repetitive in nature because you're just fighting on waves of enemies. But like, it's not super noticeable where it's like I'm fighting the exact same foot soldier over and over and over again. They do a good job of keeping it fresh, and then keeping you being able to play a different level, like when you're floating through, like I explained earlier, when you're riding like a thing. So you're fighting foot soldiers, but you're on a different platform fighting, so it's not the exact same. So they do a good job of keeping the diversity. But yeah, I won't run on too long. The game is fun. I enjoy it. I will always reach for it, similar to like a Smash Brothers, where it's like, yeah, I got some people over, let's play this game, like let's see it. Or like a Mortal Kombat, where it's like put people against it. That game is a good game to just kind of have when you have people over. It's fun by yourself, but it kind of takes the forefront when you have multiple people playing, because it gets really chaotic, and it's meant to be played with multiple players. But anyways, yeah, thanks for tuning in.